Real stories, real people, real impact. New York and New Jersey, always on the rise. Welcome to On the Rise. I'm Vanessa Freeman, and today I had to bring you in the field, in the community here in Newark, New Jersey, to spotlight someone who has been building community for decades. Shennell Barnes is a movement architect, a documentary filmmaker, a civic organizer, a journalist, and author. And right now I am standing in one of her newest creations. This is the Newark Penthouse, and this is Shennell Barnes. We are thrilled to have you.
I am so thrilled to be here with you, Vanessa.
As I walked in, I said, Shennell, how can this space look even more beautiful? I was here for the big launch.
Yes.
And I'm here today, and I'm still seeing things I didn't see before, a couple months ago?
Every detail matters. Every detail matters.
Tell us about Newark Penthouse. What is it?
Yes, so the Newark Penthouse, I just opened a little over a few weeks ago with the intention of bringing together creatives, entrepreneurs, so that they can fully explore what it looks like to rebuild their business. In a world where so many of us, especially people of color, are losing our business.
And tell me about the pivot, because this seems to be a soft space to land and an incubator for people who are just looking for a refuge as they make that change in their careers.
Absolutely. So first off, I started off launching Project Ready, which was my nonprofit organization, and we focused on democracy, and we were activating voters. And I realized as we were making this pivot in the nation, one of the most important things we could do for democracy is focus on our economic mobility, our economic revival, but also above all else, our mental health and wellness and our rest. So this space, and we'll walk around.
Let's do that.
Yes, it's specifically curated so that people can come in and they can rebuild in a world where they don't have many safe spaces to do so.
And you have safe space and beautiful spaces. Tell us about each room, because each one is different, represents something different.
Each one is different. So again, focusing on the mental health and wellness of our creatives, we've tried to implement different elements that would support your mental health and well-being. So this room is our water room. We've got some water elements here, which brings a lot of people peace. It brings me peace every day.
Just hearing it brings me peace.
Yes. And then this room is one of my favorite rooms. This is an open convening space, but we rooted it in elephants, which we know represent power, represent support, represent peace. So we've got elephants everywhere. We've got a nice fireplace in the back room. And again, we want people to feel happy. We want people to feel creative, and we want people to feel ready.
Yeah, and sometimes people just need a space away from home. I know a lot of people probably just set up a home office, but sometimes you need a space outside of the norm.
Yeah, so coming off the backdrops of COVID-19, there were so many people who would set up a home office who were working from home. But now you have the opportunity here to be able to come in as a member. You can come in every day. You can come in for 2 weeks. You can come in on a day pass and just take a moment to revive yourself and position yourself to catapult your career, but also to catapult your mental health and wellness. This is the vision room. This is our vision boarding room. People often want to come in, and maybe you're not working on a strategic plan. Maybe the strategic plan is you. So we want people to be able to use this space to actually envision what they want for their lives, because you have to start with yourself.
Right. Let's talk about your personal vision board. Let's move out to your podcast area, because this kind of brings me to your illustrious career that you've built so far. I think in my intro, I probably left a couple things off just because I couldn't fit it all in.
Yes.
I mean,
well, we're always becoming, right?
Oh, and I love that you say that.
I
love that you say that, because we have this beautiful space that we're standing in. But prior to that, I mean, you've worked in politics, you've worked in media, you've owned your own nonprofit, you've done so much civic work. Tell me about each of those building blocks and how they kind of led you here to the Newark Penthouse.
I think the through line in between all those building blocks is I want to be able to amplify the stories of others. And when you're able to take a moment to think about your why, to think about your story, to think about who you are, you're able to then make decisions about how you make choices for your life. And so every element of what I've done has been about capturing the story. So I want to bring you into this space. This is my favorite space.
Look at this.
This is our podcast room.
Because new media, hello.
Yes. So I am now a content creator on Odyssey, a part of their content program, and we are going to be shooting all of our network and all of our stories through this podcasting space, which I'm very excited about. But above all else, it's not just about me. If you have a podcast, if you have a story that you want to tell, you have the opportunity to come right to this space and do it. And we have all of our equipment. I'm only showing a part of it because we keep the equipment locked up, but we have all the equipment that creators need in order to amplify their voice.
Why was this such an important addition to have here in the Newark Penthouse?
Absolutely. I think it was most important because, for example, some of our members come in and they're actually using the iPod room in order to document what it is that they're doing to develop their business. The recapturing of that journey is so important because as an entrepreneur, we're consistently on a journey of becoming, a journey of evolving, a journey of trying to bring the economic wealth to our families that we need to bring, sometimes often from scratch. So we had to have a space to be able to tell the story.
The big launch event you had here was about
Women
pouring.
Who Pour.
Women Who Pour.
Yes.
And I thought that was so powerful and
Thank
so
you.
symbolic. And it speaks to what you have been doing, again, in media, in your civic engagement, in the nonprofit sector, what you're doing here as an entrepreneur, opening this safe space for people to build their own careers and their own futures. How do you think this ties everything together with why you pour so much, how you're able to pour so much into the community?
As someone who's born and raised in Newark, Brick City, I know what it looks like to be of service. I know what it looks like to support the community and make sure that the community has everything that they need, because that's how the community has always poured into me. So over the 7 years, what you'll find in this space are a lot of furniture, Chromebooks, phones. I have phones here. Anything that you could possibly need that I've been able to accumulate over the past 7 years. And now it's all in this space, open to members to be able to use, because the goal here is not to create more barriers. The goal here is to remove the barriers so that you can be successful. And why shouldn't I give all of the things that I have here in this moment where people need support above all else?
When people look at everything that you've done, everything you continue to do, they may be like, man, I don't know if my idea is bold enough, if my vision may be vibrant enough, if I have this, because you spoke to your aunt, Sean, who is incredible.
Love my hi, auntie.
She has incredible vision, and she has, the artistic aspect. For people who maybe feel like they don't have that thing, what can you say to them? Because really all it takes is lending your voice, maybe not to something of your own, but something that already exists, just to amplify it, right? How can someone get started if they just want to?
Number one, remove that fear. Remove that fear, remove that initial barrier. And when you remove the initial barrier of thinking that you don't have it, come down to the Newark Penthouse and visit me, because I can promise you that we have all of the elements here in order to support you to elevate what you may be thinking in your mind that people don't need, but because it is in your mind, I know that people need it. When I started the Newark Penthouse, I was very afraid. I had a couple $100,000 left from my nonprofit. Didn't know if the nonprofit was gonna survive because we had so much of our funding cut. And I knew that I either needed to close up shop or I needed to roll the dice a bit, walk out on faith, create a space that not only belongs to everyone, but also belongs to me in a world where I never had that. And so now what I'm doing is, just like you, I'm taking a step, I'm removing the fear and creating a brain collective where we can all come together and help each other.
I know you are from Newark, but why Newark? Why set up shop in Newark? Why do you think it's so important to pour into Newark?
Absolutely. So I think Newark is the mecca of blueprint. If you are looking to create something that other people across the nation can duplicate, you start in Newark. This is the hub for that. And so my hope is that the Newark Penthouse one day becomes the Camden Penthouse, the Patterson Penthouse. And I know if I can get it off the ground here in Brick City, then I can get it off the ground anywhere and support others in this critical moment where we need to be focused on our economic mobility and our generational wealth.
Yeah, they say it's smart to learn from the lessons of others. So if people are following your blueprint or anybody's blueprint, right? If they're suggesting, maybe go here, avoid this pit stop, what are some of the, well, obviously not a pitfall because you did not fall, you kept going. But what are some of the things that
I fell, Vanessa.
So let's talk about that.
I fell.
Let's talk about the falls, some of the bumps and the skinned knees along the way that other people can learn
Yes.
from.
So our organization was operating with over 40 employees. I have 40 employees who I still to this day consider family. Around February, as the funding shifted, I had to lay those employees off. And for at least 6 months, I could barely get out of bed. I was depressed. I was sad to the point where I was like, wait a minute, Shennell, you actually have to get out of the bed. And finally, when I started to think about what I needed to do in order to pour into myself, and by way of that, in order to have the community pour into me, to pour back into the community, that's when I got up and slowly started to build the Newark Penthouse, slowly started to bring this to life, slowly started to meet people that were saying, Shennell, I actually understand what you're going through. In a world where 6 months back, I went to open my phone, Vanessa, I went to call someone to have them help me, and I didn't even know who to call. But now I do, because this safe space offers me the opportunity to meet people just like me. Right. So you will fall, and that's okay, but the rise is sweet. Mm-hmm. The rise is beautiful, and the rise makes you glow in a way that I don't think in anything I've ever done, I've ever glowed this way before.
Right. And what keeps you rising? What keeps you going? What keeps you pouring into yourself, into your family? Because you're also mom of 3.
Yeah, mom of 3, but then my husband and I came together. Mm-hmm. He has 6, so now mom of 9.
Wow. Yes. How do you keep going? Because they're probably the most demanding of all the things on your resume.
They keep me going because when I look at each of them from 21, all the way, I think 22 now, actually just had a birthday, 22 all the way down to 5. So we have the full gamut. I think, what is the world that I want them to live in? And it doesn't look the way the world looks right now. But if I do my part, it can look that way. And doing my part means revitalizing an economy where they see diverse faces, where they see diverse funding, and where people like me are not afraid to say, I need $1 million in order to get this off the ground. Can you help me? And we actually receive that help.
I love that you are building the table for people to sit at and empowering them.
Absolutely.
Shennell Barnes, it's a pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much.
Vanessa,
thank you for watching.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye on the rise.
Until next time, you keep rising.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.